I'm Helen Hagey.
Graham Hagey, 615.
I was born and raised in Newberry, Michigan, in the Upper Peninsula, and I went to college at Northern Michigan University in Marquette, and after that I went to Washington D.C. for 20 years, and then spent my winters in Williamsburg, Virginia, for 30 years, and my summers in Petoskey, Michigan, for 30 years.
I'm Graham Hagey, and I was born in Highland Park, Michigan. I grew up in Nova Scotia, Canada, and after high school, I entered the Air Force, the United States Air Force. 4 years, went to college on the GI Bill, University of Connecticut. We lived in Williamsburg, Virginia for 30 years, and then 30 years in Petoskey, Michigan, and then we're here.
Winters.
Yeah. So that's the summary.
We met at the federal government, working at the federal government 50 years ago, 51 years ago.
This was Ann Arbor, Michigan.
I worked as a contract negotiator for the Nuclear Regulatory Commission.
And then I worked at the Savannah River National Laboratory as a physicist, the Apollo program in Houston, and then the Department of Energy in Washington, D.C.
I have a brother and a sister and a whole bunch of nieces and nephews who all live in this area.
I have a daughter and a son and multiple grandchildren and great-grandchildren. So I have a son that lives in Royal Oak, a daughter that lives in Asheville, South Carolina.
I love to bake, and I love to draw architectural designs. We built 5 houses, and 2 of them were my designs, and all in colonial Williamsburg.
And we like to travel and read and a lot of outdoor activities. So that's, in summary, that's the activities.
Well, being close to family, that was really important to me. And because Freedom Village has a great reputation, and it can take care of us right through the end of our life, and we feel comfortable here.
And it's where strangers become friends.
That's right. This is where strangers become friends. And just keep on making new friends.
That sounds good. Well, we hope the weather will clear up so we can get out. We're kind of stuck in this cabin fever.
We've been staying here for a few months now, and just met so many people and so many friends, and we found a new church that we really enjoy, the Third Reformed Church, and we're just happy.
My name is Randy Blaukamp, and I live in Unit 709. I lived at the Links Golf Course condominiums in Holland, and before that, I stayed in Holland. I grew up in Holland. I was born in Zeeland, and we moved to Holland when I was 16 years old. I was a construction superintendent for a local company, and what I did was I was the first person on the job site and the last person to leave. And my trade is as I'm a carpenter. Yes, my wife passed away this summer. My daughter lives in Zeeland. She has 2 boys. And my son lives in Wisconsin, and he has 3 boys. So we have all boys, no girls. All the way from 24 to 18. Well, I like to fish, and when I moved into the golf course area, that was good because then I could golf anytime I wanted. Let's see what else. Woodworking. I had my own woodworking shop, and on 23rd Street when I built that house. So that was fun. I really enjoyed that a lot. I think we visited here about a year ago, and I had to stay for a few days because of surgeries I had. And we found out, my wife and I, that we really liked the atmosphere, how clean it was. The food, food was wonderful. So I guess those sort of things, and it was close to my daughter's house. She's only 2 miles away. I'm thankful for that because my wife is gone. And so she does, she tries to come about twice a week for a couple hours at least. Yeah, I'm going to try out the wood job this week. See once how that goes. And I've got a couple ideas I'd like to try. And I sold all my tools, so it'd be nice to use the facilities here.
Right, I am Pat Flynn, and I live in apartment 658. I lived previously in Holland. I had a condo off 32nd Street at Centennial Villas, where I was living for 27 years. Before that, I was in South Haven. Before that, other places. Started out in Waterloo, Iowa. Then when I went to Northwestern University and met my husband, who was from the Chicago area, and we lived in Evanston. Then we moved to a small farm between Bangor and South Haven. He had a horticultural degree and had a landscaping business in the North Shore of Chicago, but was losing his vision. So gave up his business and we had a small farm. He wanted to try dwarf fruit trees and Christmas trees and that kind of thing. I was a high school guidance counselor for 21 years at Bangor High School, and I retired in 1998 and then started a career as an artist. I decided that I always wanted to learn to paint. I took a class at Evergreen Commons, and it kind of took off from there. I have slowed down a little bit. I'm too busy here. But yes, I have a studio in my apartment and enjoy painting with a group every week at the Arts Council. I swim. I go to the aquatic center every morning, weather permitting. And I'm part of a water aerobics group there that goes way back. And we call ourselves the Water Lilies. We're down to four gals in the pool and 7 who join us for breakfast. They are the Day Lilies. I used to golf, but I've had rotator cuff surgery, so I gave up the golf. I like to read. Nice. That's about it. Okay. I looked at other retirement places in town. I actually had considered the farmstead, but when it came time to really make a decision, I thought Freedom Village offered so much more. And I saw my apartment and thought it's a perfect apartment, so I better take it. Yes, my husband passed away 2 years ago, but we have one son who is married. They and his wife live in Chandler, Arizona, which is south of Tempe, Phoenix area. And I have 2 grandchildren. My granddaughter is a freshman at Alabama University, and my grandson is a junior in high school. I have a brother in the Phoenix area also. I think it began with my brother, who joined a law firm there, and then my parents retired and moved down there. Then my son decided Phoenix would be a good place to be because there was family there. I'm the only one in the Midwest still. I have already become a volunteer at the Saturday morning bistro. I'm on the 4th Saturday. Muffins in Danish. I'm a table server. For right now, I'm trying to balance my outside life with my inside life. So I need some time. I really find it very a friendly place. I think the name tags are a great idea because you meet so many people. I recognize faces, but don't always remember their names. I think only once did I eat alone. Usually if you arrive alone, someone asks you to join them for a meal. I wake up every morning thinking, where am I going to eat? When am I going to eat? What am I going to eat? It seems to be meal-oriented around.